Welcome to Thundersport Elite here at Oulton Park for round 5 of the Thundersport GB Championships. A show where, for this round, we will be bringing you 3 championships in one. The Bike Insurer Thundersport GP1, the Van Insurer Sportsman Elite 600s, and give you a sneak peek at the Golden Era Superbikes 2. First up, Thundersport GP1, sponsored by the Bike Insurer. A packed grid full of stars, I have to say. John Ingram, welcome back from the TT, the Ram, last year's champion on pole position. We've also got James East there, second on the grid, number 56. Nice to have him on the grid. Barry Teasdale was third on the grid, number 224. Of course, we've got the championship leader, 111, Alex Heaton, out there on the AL Joinery and Oaksmith Construction Kawasaki. But just a long list of supremely talented riders here at a packed grid. I think the back of the grid is starting at the end of Lodge Corner at the moment. Here we go then. Down into turn 1, and it is the Ram that gets the whole shot down into turn 1. Number 156 on the Morello Services Kawasaki. Last year's champion, back from the TT, doing British Championship this year as well. I'm very impressed to see Barry Teasdale, regular here with Thundersport, not really quite as experienced, anywhere near as experienced as the riders around him. He's up there into second place and third on the grid, and then just up behind him, number 35, Gavin Hunt. Gavin over Max Rider, very experienced across all categories really. James East is up there as well, a name you may recognise in 4th place there. Number 11, James Folkard, of course, one of the only rider to have won an Aprilia Super Team and an Aprilia 450 Championship. He's been mixing and matching in all sorts of classes for this season. There he is, number 11 on the Night Road Racing Ducati, also back way in competition. Number 100 just in there as well is Connor Tagg, who's moved machines. He's moved off that Ducati. He's moved on to the Morello Services Kawasaki. We're now on board with Alex Heaton, 111 on the AL Joinery DPT Kawasaki, up in towards Druids Corner here at Oulton Park as he goes and has a look up the inside of Connor Tagg and makes it stick. Alex, the championship leader so far, has got a few riders to contend with here as John Ingram leads there from Gavin Hunt. This is a double points race, I should just point out. 50 points for the winner. The second race will just be for normal points, 25, 2016 onwards. Double points, 2 championships, in fact 3 championships in one. GP1s for tuned machines, super stock thousands as per, and we also have out there our Clubman Championships, effectively the pre-national thousands that are out there at the moment. Leading that, Sam Boyers in this race. It's Martin Brand, the championship leader. Sam Boyers, look out there, number 169, leading championship leader Martin Brand, number 52. But it's John Ingram, last year's Bike Insurer GP1 champion overall, that has the advantage here. The Ram, who has just gone across the line and completely shattered the lap record. Well, it was his own anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. It was a 140.7, and let me tell you, when that was set, as we see a nice move there from Alex Heaton underneath James Folkard, when that was set, I didn't think we'd see that beaten for a while, but he's just smashed it by 1.7 seconds, 1.6 seconds, a 139 flat for John Ingram, and just behind him, James East, number 56, has smashed the Superstock 1000 lap record, which was held by Danny Murphy at 140.458. It's now a 139.123. So really quick pace being set here in this GP1 race as John Ingram looks to try and stretch away now from number 35, Gavin Hunt, rider from Douglas, the Isle of Man and Manx Racing Kawasaki. In 3rd place there is James East, number 56, as we see David Brook there, just going through, runner-up in the pre-national 600s last year, rider from Bradford on the Team Marconi Kawasaki, just up ahead of 75, Dan Hill from Notwich on the DHR Kawasaki. Kawasaki is certainly the weapon of choice, it's fair to say, for this season, as James East there has gone past now number 35, Gavin Hunt. So we've got, in fact, we've got Kawasaki's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the moment. James Folkard, the Ducati in the mix. Tom McHale's back with us as well. Nice to see Tom out there, a former 600 Sportsman Elite contender. Number 84, he's out there on a Honda. It's great to have Tom, nice lad. He's out there inside the top 10. Not bad going considering he's not been with us all year. As John Ingram continues to try and stretch away at the front of this one now from James East and Gavin Hunt. There we see further back, there is the battle going on for the pre-national thousands. At the moment, 169 Sam Boyers leading from Martin Brand. Ryan Kringle and Shea Burton fighting for the remaining podium places in that one. But it's David Brook there, number 73, who's in 10th place, ahead of Sam Boyers, number 169, currently leading then the pre-national 1,000 race. That's 4 riders that are yet to attain a national licence, so they're doing pretty well actually inside the points overall. Back to the front, it's John Ingram that has the advantage from James East. There is Tom McHale, number 84, considering that trait of having brightly coloured machines, at least we can spot him. There is Neavesy just going through there ahead of Neil Watson, so Michael Neaves struggling a bit here, a race winner in the GP1 class back at Snet a couple of rounds ago. Just struggling to get to grips with this Oulton Park circuit perhaps this weekend, as we're now on board with the championship leader Alex Eaton, who's having a lonely race here in 4th place. He's just a second or so ahead of Barry Teasdale behind him, number 224, into Island Corner. And up towards Shell Oil's hairpin. No sight of the leaders at the moment. That said, this will be good for Alex Eaton's championship. Double points on offer, as we're going to see possibly a change for the lead. Now, John Ingram's lead has been cut down by James East. So it looks like we're in for a race here. John Ingram leads number 156 from East, and Gavin Hunt's number 35. There's Tom McHale again in 8th place, still behind James Folkard on the Ducati. Folkard very much local to this circuit from Liverpool. Once again there you see Boyers 169 ahead of Dan Hill, and then number 52 Martin Brand, who leads the pre-national thousands overall. But back to the front we go, the 3 Kawasaki's battle it out. John Ingram is out there on the GP1 machine, pretty much superbike spec, ahead of the 2 super stockers of James East and Gavin Hunt, and the last lap flag is out now. So who is going to get themselves the outright win? As it stands, both Ingram and East will win their respective classes. As we just see there, Alex Heaton going through ahead of Barry Teasdale and Connor Tagg. They're also super stockers. James Folkard is in line for 2nd in GP1, he's 7th overall. Neil Watson, believe it or not, is then next up in the GP1 category in 16th place. Here we go then. Through Island Bend we go. John Ingram's lead is being cut down. East desperately trying to find a way past him there with the white, black and bright yellow leathers. Number 56 trying to get past 156. Then Gavin Hunt there, don't count him out just yet, number 35. The Isle of Man rider. Into Britain chicane we go. And then over the hilltop and down towards the Hizzy chicane complex. Oh, bit close and personal there. That looked like number 21 Chris Barnes has just gone around the outside. That was an interesting move. There's James Folkard on the night road racing Ducati. Well, it's going to be the highest finishing Ducati, that's for sure, as he comes home just behind the Kawasaki's in front of him. Who's going to get the race win though? Will it be the reigning champion John Ingram? He's not been at every round so far, but when he has turned up, he's taken race wins. And it's the 2 super stockers trying to find the best line to the line. Best line to the line, to the finish line. Here we go then, it's going to be John Ingram, they're not catching him. And Ingram goes across the line and does take the win ahead of James East and Gavin Hunt. Close race that, close race indeed. But John Ingram, will he be aware? Well, he will now, he's just looked over his shoulder and seen those 2 guys just there. John Ingram wins from James East, Gavin Hunt 2nd in the super stocks. Alex Eaton 4th, the championship leader. Barry Teasdale 5th and Connor Tagg in 6th place. So, GP1, there's Ingram, Folkard and Watson. And in the super stocks, it's a win for East, ahead of Gavin Hunt and Alex Heaton. In the pre-national thousands, Boyers wins from Brandon Kringle.
The winner, absolutely fantastic, but only just 7/100ths of a second.
Yeah, he's having to keep me sharp there, James, isn't he? Yeah. Just come here this weekend to set the Morello Services Superbike up. Just struggling a little bit with chatter. We just keep going from one end of the scale to the other. We've got Pete Clifford here this weekend reading the telemetry for us and stuff, so just trying to move it on before we head off to Knockhill. But just want to take this opportunity to thank you to Steve Buckingham for giving me the opportunity to ride his superbike. It's brilliant. I sit at home sometimes pinching myself, just wondering how it's happened, but there you go. But yeah, big thanks to you and big thanks to everyone here.
James East, what a fantastic race. I confess, the way you were closing John down, I thought you were going to have him.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's always fun following the super bikes on the super stock, because they have to ride it a lot smoother, so you end up sort of bringing yourself along. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I just got a bit of a bad start and made me way through them, and I thought I could pass John there. I had a little look at the last corner, but yeah, I couldn't take that risk. But yeah, thanks to everybody for helping this weekend. It's gonna be perfect for getting the setup right for Knockhill next weekend. But yeah, thanks to Opus Energy, to Brabus, and to you, Lockett. They're doing a brilliant job for us this season, helping with funding, and yeah, this is for the Urns.
Sam Boyers, first place pre-National Sport 1000. You must be chuffed with that, big smile.
Yeah, mega chuffed for that. I mean, Martin overtook us at the start line, folding for a few laps. Managed to overtake him at top end, happy days. Kept pushing every lap. Did my fastest ever lap, PB. So, chuffed with myself really, yeah.
Well, I mean, this is an awesome technical circuit, so you've got to be chuffed with that. I'm glad you are. Who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank Autosmart Preston. Still Clean got us some new oil this weekend, worked brilliantly. Promo Signs, they help us out loads. And all the rest of the people, I mean, I can't remember. It's first time in front of a camera, it's brilliant, isn't it? So hopefully, yeah, thanks to the team.
Don't go anywhere, folks. Coming up after the break, the Sparklight Racing Golden Era Superbikes and Super Sports. Welcome back to Oulton Park. It's time for the Golden Era Superbike, sponsored by Sparklight Racing and Super Sport. The bikes of old, in terms of 750s, 1000s, up against some of the 600s out there as well. And it's just like last year, one of those championships really that could go any way. No Chris Martin here this weekend. It's Shane Pearson that leads the championship overall. Shane, number 35, out there on an orange and white melted slider Suzuki 750. There he is, number 35, second row. Third on the grid. It's Richard Blunt there, second. Current champion, number 1 on his bike. But John Dieterman, number 18, on the Baxi Yamaha, is on pole position. A rider that's certainly going very well in the last few rounds. Down into turn 1, though, it is defending champion Richard Blunt that leads overall. Richard, who was just out in the GP1 race a moment ago. He's got himself a Superstock 1000 to race this year as well. He's been improving on his results this year. The competition's a lot hotter than it was in 2013 when he won the Golden Era Superbike class and Lee Longdon won the Super Sport. But we will see how it all goes. Shane Pearson it is that leads the championship from Ollie Dupree and Nick Williamson, but as I said, really is wide open. Double points though here in both of these races here today for the Sparklight Racing Golden Era Superbike. So it's Blunt that leads from Dieterman as they look to roar away from the rest of the pack. It looks like in the early stages here, Jamie Pearson has the advantage in the Super Sport, brother of Shane Pearson. Down in towards his chicane we go though, the number 1 plate there of Richard Blunt looking to do the business. Double points really will make a big difference in the championship here, especially when you consider that Chris Martin's not here, so there's a chance to get past him. Two riders just running wide there. We just had on the time screens come up that we've had a jump start penalty, and it is one of the championship protagonists as well. Ollie Dupree, second overall in the standings, currently third on screen, number 65, a 10-second jump start penalty for him. So he's going to want to try and tag on to these two out front, hold on to them for as long as possible and see if he can manage to stay in the top 5 or 6, because there's some huge points on offer and that will dent his chances a little. He'll want to get himself ahead of Shane Pearson, but it's Richard Blunt that has the early advantage here, number 1 out there on the Portico GB Racing Kawasaki, rider from Bury St Edmunds, up ahead of number 18 John Dieterman from Preston on the Team Baxi Yamaha, the 750, and the YZF machine there. rider that has had some mechanical troubles at the start of the year, but was very impressive at Snetterton our last round, and is impressive here down into Island Bend as well. One of the fastest parts of the circuit. He goes up the inside of Richard Blunt, but Blunt has the inside line into Shell Oils, but Dieterman closes the door on that Yamaha. Dieterman, of course, who's moved on from his self-made Ducati 860 that he had last year onto this Yamaha. It didn't look like being a wise move at the start of the season. As I said, troubles in the beginning, but now he's got to grips, and we've got these two beautiful machines scuffling for the race win. The old Yamaha YZF and the Kawasaki ZXR 750 there. Richard Blunt, who really is a genuinely lovely bloke to have around in the paddock, and left it late last year. He was in control of the championship. Things went a bit pear-shaped at times, but he managed to hold on to it. Further back there, we are looking at Dominic Clegg, number 4. Quite slightly out of control as we go into his. He's number 34, the Ducati 996 in that mix there was Chris Matthews. Always nice to have Chris back in the paddock. Former Street Fighter A contender with Thundersport GP over the years. A quick rider, sling him on anything and he'll go fast. At the moment he's getting himself involved in a decent battle. There is Dominic Clegg, number 4. And let's see how it handles. A bit of chatter down on the front end there. He's up ahead of number 24, Jamie Pearson, who leads the Super Sport class so far, ahead of Richie Harrison, who was just in that group actually, number 48, and number 28, Martin Bloomfield. So that's your top 3 in the Super Sports. There is Jamie Pearson, number 24, orange and white melted side Suzuki. There is Craig Jeff, number 16, just ahead of Richard Stubbs and Andy Windsor. Now then, out front we've still got Blunt and Dieterman scrapping it out for the overall race victory. It's Dieterman that has the advantage there on the Baxi Yamaha, ahead of Richard Blunt. Third place, well, Ollie Dupree at the moment is third on circuit, but of course he's got that 10-second penalty, so he'll fall down behind Shane Pearson and Nick Williamson. Can Richard Blunt get himself closer to the rear end there of John Dieterman? Coming into this weekend, Dieterman was 67 points behind Pearson overall in the championship, but he will close in significantly here with a decent result, as we see Clegg again there. Number 48 is Richie Harrison. Number 20 is Andy Chalice. On the Team CT Racing Aprilia, rider from Peterborough. Still the Baxi Yamaha that leads though in the Golden Era Superbikes. Coming up on some traffic now into start-finish area. There is number 35, Shane Pearson, up ahead of Nick Williamson. Nick, a former contender of this title a couple of years back, along with Lee Reevely, rider from Southampton on the RBM Industrial Honda. It's an SP1, that one. Ollie Dupree out there on an SP2. But as I mentioned before, he's got a 10-second penalty. There's also come up on my screen a 3-second penalty to number 76 for cutting a chicane. That's Ian Morgan. A 3-second penalty is a new one on me, but perhaps he's gained an advantage there and he'll just be cut back a bit. It is at the moment, let's see, that's Ian Evans actually just getting lapped by the race leaders, Dieterman and Blunt. 50 points will come in handy for John Dieterman, in fact 40 for Richard Blunt, who's 7th in the championship coming into this event, will do very nicely too. There's Dupree, 10 seconds added onto him. He'll be behind Pearson, so Pearson, whatever happens at the end of this race, will be the championship leader still. 74 and 15 just getting lapped there. Andy Wintle is 74, 15 Richard Stanbury from Preston. Down into Hizzy's chicane, there is number 6, the rider from Southampton again, Nick Williamson. Oh, and he's got a problem there, arm up in the air. He's either, well, is he saying hi to his mum? I'm not really sure what's going on there. Or I'm coming in for tea. Either way, he's gone straight up. Straight on, sorry. There is a bit of a wobble from Jamie Pearson, number 24, as they go down into Hizzy's chicane. Still leader of the 600 Super Sport category. The biggest grids ever this year for Golden Era Superbikes, but we do tend to have runaway leaders, and it looks like John Dieterman's taking that one this time. Here he goes across the line. He's got a 3 or 4 second advantage over Richard Blunt, so barring any mistakes, it's his for the taking. Ollie Dupree at the moment, number 65, third on circuit, but he will probably finish around 5th or 6th. Richard Stanbury, sorry, I mentioned just a moment ago that he's being lapped. he's up there actually in 6th place. It's the rider number 74, Andy Wintle, that was being lapped. There's Craig Jeff, number 16, currently behind Chris Matthews, or Chris Matthews coming up on him, yeah, just behind Chris Matthews, 34, who's made excellent progress in this race. It's the battle for 7th and 8th. Stubbs is in 9th, ahead of Andy Windsor. Then Mike Walker, blast from the past there. Mike, number 128, in 11th place. Then it's Pearson, Jamie that is. There he is, number 24, 12th overall, ahead of Andy Chalice on circuit, but leading the Super Sport. John Dieterman, though, who was 5th coming into this event, is going to move up ahead of, in fact, he might move into 3rd place overall after this race alone. Got another one to come. Double points, not put a foot wrong. We've seen a couple of times this season he's been in this position and his bike's gone pop and given up the ghost. So fingers crossed for John. Half a lap to go for him. Richard Blunt, a crucial 40 points for him as well. Ollie Dupree here, number 65. A 10-second penalty added to his overall time, the rider from Ware on the Peterson Sims Honda. Disappointed with that. That means that number 35, Shane Pearson, will go up into 3rd place, the rider on the Melted Slider Suzuki, and will maintain his championship lead. There's Andy Wintle just getting lapped again. There's 24, Jamie Pearson, leading the Super Sports. But Dieterman then into the final turn, and he'll go over Deersley. He might even afford a cheeky look over his shoulder. He's got the win, and it's 50 points for Dieterman on the Yamaha ahead of Richard Blunt. So good haul of points for both of those guys. They needed that. They were, well, let's see, 5th and 7th in the championship respectively. So good effort there for Dieterman and Blunt. Shane Pearson, the championship leader, finishes in 3rd, so 32 points for him. Then it's Nick Williamson in 4th, ahead of Dupree and Richard Stanbury. Top 3 then overall, Dieterman, Blunt and Pearson in the Superbikes, and in the Super Sport it's glory for Pearson ahead of Richie Harrison and Martin Bloomfield.
John, fantastic race there, and I thought that Richard Blunt was really going to take it to you in that one.
Yeah, so did I. I mean, I had a bit of a problem with clutch at start, but I think so did Richard. But I could hear him behind me all the race. Every airport went into, I could hear his back. I thought, oh, got to keep going, got to keep going. And we come up some back markers on like about lap 6, and I think I just got through him a little bit quicker than he did, or a bit better. So yeah, I really enjoyed that race. It was really hard and really good.
Well, I think you've got the lap record there, so I think so, but I'll have to double check that. But who would you like to thank, mate?
I'd like to thank Baxi, my sponsors, and the company I work for. So hello to everybody at Baxi. I'll be there on Monday. And my brother and my dad are here today, so thanks Mark, thanks Dad.
Jamie, tough race there. It's hot work out there, but very well done.
Yeah, it's red hot out there. I don't know how we managed to keep going in the race because it was that hot. Sweat was dripping off from like lap 3 because it was that hot. But we managed to keep it shiny side up and had a right good battle. So I'm happy with the race altogether.
Well, you're having a fantastic season. I mean, you know, you must be chuffed to bits with that. But who have you got to thank?
Mainly thank Motor Sliders for putting me and my brother on 2 fantastic bikes. Anything we need, he gives it us. If he's got it, that's it, obviously. But yeah, amazing bikes, amazing team. Thanks for everyone.
Join us again after the break. It's time for the first race. The Van Insurer 600 Sportsman Elites up next. Welcome back to Oulton Park for round 5 of the Thundersport GP Championships. It's time for the first race for the Van Insurer Sportsman 600 Elites. There on pole position is number 74, Curtis Wright on the Triumph stock machine. Richie McNeil, 2nd on the grid, currently 4th overall in the championship combined. And then 3rd on the grid for Bradley Jones, who had an excellent round back at Cadwell Park. A grid though full of stars. There's reigning champion number 1 Daniel Freer. Adam Shelton, of course, was on fire back at Cadwell. Ross Twyman back on the grid as well, number 15. Yellow bike there, black trim, white helmet, number 15. So lots of talent on the grid. Chris Moore, former contender for the championship, joins us as well, number 34 on the right of your screen. But down into turn 1, it's a good start for Richie McNeil, number 22, who looks to have maybe just got the whole shot as all of the 600s make their way around turn 1 nice and neatly. A full grid of machines here, 35, we've got about 38 riders on the grid for this race. Lots of prizes on offer. We have Formula 600s and Superstock 600s out there. They score points separately, they score points collectively, and so we'll see how it all pans out. Richie McNeil, though, it is on a tuned Formula 600 that has the lead through Shell Oils. Currently 4th overall in the Sportsman Elite. He's 2nd in the Formula 600s, just 4 points between him and Daniel Freer, number 1 out there on the Yamaha R6. And then a whole bunch of super stock 600s. A number of riders that are eligible to enter any super stock 600 category pretty much across Great Britain. There's Bradley Jones going through, number 7, having a good one. Nice to have Lee Williams back out there with us as well. Number 94, rider from Liverpool, so not far for him to travel here. We just head around there. Jordan Rushby, number 2, just getting beaten up through Izzy's complex, and there's a rider who's gone straight on. I'm not quite sure who that is from here, can't quite get a glimpse of the number, but that's the rider going straight on. It's Richie McNeil that leads in the 600s, ahead of Curtis Wright, who was on pole. It's Bradley Jones on the Kawasaki in 3rd, and then the Yamaha of Dan Freer in 4th. Onto the start finish straight we go to complete another lap. We've got 4 different manufacturers inside the top 4. Keep an eye out for Ross Twyman, of course, a rider at the start of the season who hadn't even seen a 600 before, moved up from the Aprilia 450s and has been on fire. He missed our last round at Cadwell Park because it clashed with the World Superbike support round that he entered, and since he's well, he's just doing very, very well. He's gone into the BSB Superstock 600s. He's doing as many of these rounds as possible. Major talent for the future, Ross Twyman, number 15. So he's flying through the pack as we speak. It's McNeil that leads from the triumph of Curtis Wright. 3rd place there for Bradley Jones, number 7. The rider from Stalbridge on the Bob Jones Heating Kawasaki. McNeil still with the advantage, a rider who notoriously throughout this season struggles with arm pump, so around about halfway through the race you sometimes see him tailing off. I should just point out that this is a double points race, this first one, so very, very important for all riders concerned, of course, especially Daniel Freer, championship leader. He's going to want to get himself a bit further up than he is at the moment. There is Freer just alongside number 61 on the Scruffs Kawasaki. That's Adam Shelton, so dominant back at Cadwell. Just behind Freer there is number 94 Lee Williams. Lee on the high-tech Robinson's Kawasaki, rider from Liverpool, as mentioned earlier on, ex-Supermoto rider. And it is McNeil that still has the advantage from Curtis Wright, and Curtis Wright thought about having a look up the inside. That's not to be. Curtis out there on a super stock triumph. Across the line we go to tick off another lap, and lap records completely disappearing here, especially in the super stock categories. We see there Ross Twyman, number 15, black and yellow bike, trying to find a way past Bradley Jones. These two guys are former rivals, I suppose you could say, from the 450 championship of last year. They've both come through the super teens as well. McNeil it is that has the advantage, number 22, ahead of 74 Curtis Wright. Curtis, who is 5th overall in the championship but leads the super stocks. Very consistent rider is Curtis, out there on that Pallet Brothers Triumph, rider from Stony Stanton. And that then is Ross Twyman in 3rd, really closing up on them now. That record in the super stocks was a 43.285. Ross Twyman's just put in a 42.602. Sorry, super stocks was 43.2. It's now a 42.6. So Ross Twyman has smashed the super stock 600 lap record. That was held by Luke Stapleford when Luke came over for a round for the British Championship. Further back there, we're just seeing some decent battles going on. James Picks at 27 up against Dean Mulcahy, number 95. Rider who races in this championship and in the pre-nationals, but now they're all bunching up together at the front of this race. 22, Richard McNeil, long-time race leader, not for much longer though. Up the inside goes number 74, Curtis Wright, and he now leads. Ross Twyman looking hungry there in 3rd place, as well as Brad Jones in 4th on that Kawasaki, number 7. Then it's Shelton and Williams. Dan Freer a bit further back there, number 1, and Chris Mort, the former 600 title contender with Thundersport, probably we're talking about 09, I think, something like that for Chris Mort. So nice to see him out there. He is a local-ish rider, of course, from Malpassant. There's a change there as number 15, Ross Twyman, getting a bit of a tank slapper on. Manages to, well, he's having a good old scrap here with Richie McNeil up around the outside into Island Bend. Ross Twyman taking no prisoners at the moment in second place, just in behind Curtis Wright. Curtis, look at the train of riders here in this 600. They're all bunching up. Half of them are Formula 600s, half of them are Super Stock 600s. Super Stock bikes should have yellow numbers on red backgrounds, and I think most of them are playing ball. The rest, their white backgrounds, blue numbers, are formulas, with the exception of number 94, Lee Williams, who goes through there. Lee is also a Super Stock rider, but he's got a white number on a red background. Look at all these battles going on. There's number 67, that is Matt Pearce. It's just absolutely streams of machines all the way through the pack here. 38 bikes out on the grid. It seems a shame that not all of them are going to score points, and there's a change for the lead as Ross Twyman goes up underneath Curtis Wright. So Twyman now, who won at Snetterton a few rounds back, goes into the lead of this race overall. The top two are Super Stock bikes. In third there, Richard McNeil leads the Formula 600. Then it's Lee Williams 94, who's having a good race here up ahead of Adam Shelton, winner at Cadwell Park last time out. Around Old Hall Corner they go, first turn here at Oulton Park, and then, good heavens, number 81 is Matt Waldron leading this battle. These guys aren't even inside the points, and look at them, there's 7 or 8 of them. They're all battling for 16th place at the moment. It's still Ross Twyman that leads, number 15 from Curtis Wright. Richard McNeil's fallen way out there. We've got 4 Super Stock 600s in the top 4. There you see Lee Williams in third, and Richard McNeil at the top of your screen's got a problem. He's slowing up there, not sure what's going on with the number 22 Formula 600 rider. Definitely a title contender for this year, but there's something wrong with Richie McNeil's bike. He might be out of the race, we'll have to keep an eye on it. Twyman leads from 74, Curtis Wright, then Lee Williams, number 94, having one of his best runs out so far of the season. Struggled at Snetterton a couple of rounds back, really did struggle, but on a circuit he knows and loves so well, doing very well at the moment. These bunch of riders heading down towards Hizzies. That's number 5 there, Curtis Rothwell, sorry, up ahead of 47 Frank Gallagher. These guys are in 20th and 21st, so nice to have Curtis out there. We've not had him out. He was a former mini-twin champion a couple of seasons ago. Nice to have him out there, and there's a good move, solid move, and he's going to run wide. Lee Williams there trying to get out front, winning his home race. But he just let Ross Twyman back in after he ran wide, and that means that this top 3 still fight it out. Adam Shelton there in 4th on the orange machine. The Scruffs Kawasaki, don't count him out. He's got plenty of fight in him. Still no sign of Richie McNeil just yet. Not sure what's happened to him, but he looks as though he might have gone across the line. So maybe just struggling a bit with his machine. Daniel Freer it is then that leads the Formula 600s ahead of Chris Mort and Nico Mahwini. There is Chris Halliwell just going through there. Expected to see him a bit further up. Stephen Parsons, number 11. He's in 15th at the moment. He's currently leading the pre-national 600 championship, actually. You'll be able to see that on Thundersport Plus, also here on Motors TV. But Ross Twyman leads this Van Insura 600 Sportsman Elite race at the moment on a Super Stock Yamaha, ahead of Lee Williams, number 94, and that's Richie McNeil. Now then, Richie's down, and he looks a bit hurt there on the Suzuki. I'm not sure what's happened, and we've got red flags. Oh, I do hope Richie's okay, but one of the title contenders is down and out. That means that we'll go back a lap, and Ross Twyman is the race winner ahead of Lee Williams. He'll be gutted not to take the win ahead of Curtis Wright, Adam Shelton, Dan Freer and Bradley Jones. So then, Super Stock top 3, Twyman, Williams and Wright. And in the Formula 600s, the top 3 for Daniel Freer, Chris Mort and Nico Mahwini.
Dan, number 1 in Formula 600. I mean, good for the points.
Yeah, I was pleased with that, but to be honest, I was having a few slides in the first couple of laps and it was a little bit off-putting. One coming onto the start and finish straight, I didn't really know what was going on, so I just had to have a quick look around and then got back into the race, but by the time I got back into it, the lads were was on the same pace, so I couldn't really reel them. So I think for the next one we'll have some new tyres in and see what we can do.
Yeah, that pit wall looms up very nastily as you come over Deersleaf. Who do you want to thank?
Barry, Bass Tyres, NL Components and Paul Borrell.
Ross, what a fab win. Do you know, I thought you were going to come through.
Yeah, well, after that start, I'm still useless at starts, but no, after that, I was trying to get in a rhythm, which I couldn't do out the whole race, but I just kept focusing on the boys in front, and they're not hanging about, so I tried my best, and finally just caught up to them, managed to get the lead, and then the red flag came out, but yeah, so it was a good race overall, but hopefully we can improve for the next one.
Yeah, but look what it does for your racecraft to have to come through.
I know, yeah, it's good for that, but it's a bit frustrating for me. But yeah, no, I was happy with that, and hopefully we can get a better start in the next one and be with them from the start.
Tom, thank the supporters then.
Yeah, I'd like to massive thanks to my dad, obviously, for everything he does. Brinkman Engineering, Agri, CDAA, Wellvent, and Jim Brazier.
Well, we've reached the halfway point of the show. Coming up after the break, race 2 for the bike insurer Thundersport GP1. Welcome back to Oulton Park for the second part of the show. Race 2 for the bike insurer Thundersport GP1. Number 224 there, Barry Teasdale. Currently doing very well in the championship so far. Second overall coming into this event. Third on the grid. James East there, winner of the Super Stocks in race 1. Just missed out on the outright victory. Went across the line behind this man. John Ingram, reigning GP1 champion with Thundersport, is getting that superbike set up, the Morello Services machine. What can they do here in race 2? Sun gleaming down on us, and we've got 36 bikes on the grid ready to go mental here at Oulton Park. A terrible start there from James East, second on the grid, but a really good start from John Ingram. Number 156, it looks like Alex Heaton got away well as well. Number 111, the championship leader overall so far. All through turn 1. Yep, no one has gone AWOL this time, but down into the left-hander there, Cascades, and there's a change for second as Gavin Hunt goes underneath Alex Heaton, who got off to a really good start, but it's John Ingram, the reigning champion, that leads once more, just as he did earlier on. Let's see what adjustments they've made to that Morello Services Kawasaki Superbike to see if he can go even quicker. John and James managed to break the lap records in race 1. Gavin Hunted is in second place now though. Barry Teasdale there in 5th. Another good start for Tom McHale, he's up there. James Folkard once more out there on the Ducati 1198, the night road racing machine, and also Connor Tagg effectively in this race. There he is, number 100, teammates with John Ingram now on the Morello Services Kawasaki, been preparing for a run up to Scotland, and well, it's going well so far there. Connor up in the top 8 or 9, a rider that, bearing in mind he's not seen that Kawasaki before, always manages to jump on board something and go pretty quickly. At the moment though, it is John Ingram that has the advantage there, 156 ahead of Gavin Hunt. Number 35, James East, having got off to a bad start, is now on the tail of Alex Heaton in 3rd place, and looked like he might want to make a move into turn 1. He'll make it through there nicely. At the pre-national thousands, it's Martin Brand that's got off to the best possible start this time around. It's Ingram that leads overall from Gavin Hunt, and James East has gone through on Alex Heaton. There's Barry Teasdale in 5th place. Folkard there, number 11 in 6th. Up ahead of Tom McHale. There's David Brook, number 73. Got a better grip position this time, and he's up there. So really is coming on song. Number 73, Brook on the Kawasaki. There's Alex Heaton, and we're on board of him now into the Shell Oils hairpin. Slightly wide there for Alex as he tries to chase down James East. But, Alex, who has made noises about trying to enter the odd British Superstock 1000 round, currently leads his championship overall, when he's got a couple of those contenders right in front of him. Can he close them down? Number 56, James East. and number 35, Gavin Hunt. There is the superbike of John Ingram, number 156, going well. 169 is Sam Boyers, who was the winner earlier of the pre-national thousands, and there's 101 Richard Blunt. Oh, and Boyers has gone grass trekking. He was in a good position there once more. He was delighted to be on TV in race 1, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the same outcome this time as he goes straight on over at Hizzy Chicane. Ingram just building a nice little lead here ahead of Gavin Hunt, James East. Then it's Heaton Championship leader in 4th. Barry Teasdale keeping things solid in 5th. Folkard there doing well on that Ducati. It's not the easiest of things to jump on when you're not used to it. Then it's 84 Tom McHale, who's having a good run out. Then it's number 100 Connor Tagg. These two guys, 2nd and 3rd. Reversed that, and that's what we had order-wise in race 1. East really is going well though, at 139.165, and that's the stock 1000 record gone. This is the fight for 7th place between Tagg and number 100, who's currently in 8th, behind McHale in 7th. Gavin Hunt on that last lap at 39.2. John Ingram at 38.603. His previous lap record was a 140.759. John Ingram has smashed it by over 2 seconds, and that is something else. Really, really solid lap time that from John Ingram. So he'll be looking forward to the BSB round here at Oulton later on in the season. Further back there is David Brooke, number 73, up the inside of Chris Barnes. That is for 9th place. Neil Watson also in the mix there, who's fighting for 3rd overall in the GP1 category. That's Lee Williams in amongst them, who's obviously fancied a run out, number 94 and a 600. A few riders having a go out there on 600s. John Ingram's now building up a nice lead. That whopping lap time he just put in has, well, he keeps on putting them in. He's got a good 2-second lead, 3-second lead now maybe, over the guys in 2nd and 3rd. And here comes East up the inside of Gavin Hunt, as easy as that. And that's the change for 2nd place. So James East now up into 2nd ahead of Gavin Hunt. East out there on the Opus Brabus Kawasaki, rider from Royston. Number 94 there, Lee Williams going through. There's number 52, leader of the pre-national thousands, Martin Brand, championship leader overall. Boyers, who went grass tracking earlier, is currently in 2nd ahead of Ryan Kringle. And then it's Shea Burton and Aaron Ebbett. That's your top 5 in the pre-national thousands. Riders that are certainly learning their trade and learning it quickly. John Ingram, though, unstoppable. One of the smoothest riders you'll ever see, which is handy considering he's jumped up onto that superbike. He said that they were struggling a bit with chatter in race 1. They've made a few adjustments. Well, he's found a good 4-5 tenths in this race per lap, which is enough to clear off from these 2 Superstock thousands behind him. In fact, the 3 Superstock thousands behind him. James East in 2nd, Gavin Hunt 3rd. Alex Heaton, the overall championship leader, 111 in 4th. Now, this is not a double points race, but as things stand, Alex Heaton will, I think, hold on to his championship lead overall. Here we are on board with Alex, down into Hitty's chicane. Just see how tight it is there. And on the right, into Nickerbrook. On the gas as early as you dare, then uphill, underneath the bridge, up through Clay Hill. We've got Wave Jello's there. We've got a rider down, and that is Lee Williams. Lee Williams has gone down on his 600. He was a one-off ride in this GP1 race. So he'll be disappointed. He's got to get that fixed now for the 2nd 600 race that's coming up later. This is 156 though on his last lap. John Ingram, the champion of 2013, dominating last year's series. He's up ahead of James East and Gavin Hunt. That was Alex Heaton just going through in 4th place ahead of Barry Teasdale. Then it'll be James Folkard, number 11. And he's followed by Connor Tagg. Connor Tagg chasing his old machine. He was on that night road racing Ducati just a round ago. There's Tom McHale, number 84 in 8th place, up ahead of Chris Barnes, number 21. Then it's Neil Watson, 181, currently 3rd in the GP1s overall. And then it's David Brooke, 101 is Richard Blunt, 52 Martin Brand, and he leads the pre-national thousands. But as it is, it doesn't look like anyone is going to catch John Ingram, a rider that won this GP1 championship last year. This year he's moved into the BSB category. He's attempted the TT again. All-round top draw rider, and he's proving it here. He's going to take another win He's taken the lap record, and he'll also pick up the Adam Boyle Trophy. Adam, who was a Thundersport rider, sadly lost his life in a road accident in 2012. The trophy donated by his dad, Sean. We had a good race for that last season. It looks like we've got another one here. Lee Williams has got back on his bike and is riding it back to pit lane, I think. But John Ingram is going to come home and take the race win and the trophy. Ingram does it here in supreme style, 156 across the line. Who's going to take second? It will be James East. Oh, now, where's Gavin Hunt gone? Gavin Hunt has just slowed down slightly on this closing lap, but I think he's going to hold on to third. Yeah, he has. Yeah, there he is. He's gone through and he's taken third place. Alex Heaton will be fourth and will continue as championship leader ahead of Barry Teasdale, and then it was James Folkard on the night race at Road Racing Ducati there in sixth, second in the GP1 class. So there we go, top three in the GP1, Ingram, James Folkard and Neil Watson. In the Super Stocks, it's James East, Gavin Hunt and Alex Heaton. And in the pre-national thousands, Martin Brand the winner ahead of Sam Boyers and Ryan Kringle. Let's have a look at the points overall then, heading into Rockingham, the Thundersport GP1, sponsored by the bike insurer. There you see it, Alex Heaton with a commanding lead over Barry Teasdale. John Ingram lifts himself back into third ahead of the absent Phil Crow, Connor Tagg fifth and Michael Pearson sixth. In the Superstock thousands, it's Alex Heaton still that leads that one as well ahead of Barry Teasdale. Brand is in third place, going well ahead of Brooke Simpson and Richard Blunt. And in the pre-national thousands, Martin Brand extends his championship lead ahead of Sam Boyers. Carl Simpson is third, then it's Michael Mace, James Buchanan and Nathan Hutchinson.
The Ram. Once again, you've shown them all how to do it, and you've won a very coveted award at the Thundersport paddock in the Adam Boyle Trophy, and very well done.
Yeah, it's always nice to win a prestigious trophy like that, you know, the Adam Boyle one, so we'll look after that till this meeting next year, thank you. And just another big thanks, Steve Buckingham. Just a few people I want to mention, Steve Buckingham, Donna Sale, Chris Sale, we've got Pete Oulton here this weekend, you know, to try and make the superbike work for me. They're putting an excellent package underneath me. I've never had an opportunity like this before, so that's fantastic. You know, nice to be racing around here at Oulton Park, and you know we'll look forward to Knockhill next week. Excellent.
We're always looking forward to having John Ingram back. You know, you spice up our paddock, and we wish you good luck in everything you do.
Yeah, it's a fantastic paddock to be in. As I've said before, you know, it's nice to come back. Feels a bit more homely than the old British paddock. You know, it's a lot more friendly, but yeah, good place, good people.
James, well, a fantastic win in the Superstocks. I mean, I know, again, you'd like to have won the race overall, but it's always going to be difficult to catch a superbike on a Superstock machine, although you nearly did it in race one.
Yeah, it was a bit closer in race one, but yeah, I think I need to go back to do my CBT and learn how to pull away, because the start was just absolutely awful. But yeah, it was still really good to come here, and we're moving forward. I've gone a bit faster today than I've ever been around Oulton Park, so yeah, just chuffed with the whole effort, really chuffed with the effort that the team are putting in, and so yeah, thanks to them, and thanks to Opus Energy, U Lockett, Walters Medical, Race Bike Bits, just everybody who's helping me out. I really appreciate it, and yeah, we're going to move forward from here, and it's going to be really good.
We're going to take a quick break, so grab yourself a cup of tea and come back for the Sparklight Racing Golden Era Superbikes. Welcome back to Oulton Park. It's time for race 2, the Sparklight Racing Golden Era Superbikes and Golden Era Super Sport. This man here won race 1 on the backseat Yamaha number 18, John Dieterman. Double points races these, so important for Richard Blunt also, reigning champion. He's actually playing catch up at the moment anyway, so going so far for him. This is championship leader though, number 35 Shane Pearson on the Melted Slider Suzuki. There's Ollie Dupree. Second coming into this round, but got a jump start in race 1. Looking to turn that one around. In Super Sport, it's Shane Pearson's brother we need to look out for, Jamie Pearson. Sam Nicholson actually came into this round as the Super Sport Championship leader. We'll keep an eye out for Sam during the course of the race. He's out there number 2. Shane Pearson is 35 leading the Superbikes. Jamie Pearson, his brother, 24 in the Super Sport as the full packed field head down into turn 1. See there, number 96, Ian Evans, going round, one of our British Army riders. But it's Dieterman that leads from Blunt, just as we saw in race 1 earlier. Further back there was Brad Davey, number 14, former Street Fighter C champion. Nice to have Brad out there with us. Ollie Dupree there in 3rd place. Red and blue, number 65, Honda SP1, slightly closer than he was in race 1, and championship leader Pearson there in 4th place. The top 3 already looking to break away, and Richard Blunt will be keen and eager to go one step higher than he was in race 1 from 2nd to 1st. Mike Walker, good start for him, number 128, he's up in the top 6. Richard Stanbury's up there again as well, number 15. Just got a glimpse of number 2, Sam Nicholson, who was leading the Super Sport Championship coming into Oulton. He might not be after it. Nick Williamson is in the top 5 also. Craig Jeff, decent start. 88, Richard Stubbs stands out on that lime green Kawasaki. Orange bib means that he's in his 1st season, and well, we can't go through a race without mentioning Mr. Potato Head, number 40, Keith Smith. Is out there on a Ducati 916, and he will expect more of himself. Of course, he's a bit battered and bruised, slightly restricted as to what he can do these days, and not just because he's old and short, but because he's carrying rather significant injuries, and it will be probably quite hard work around here at Oulton Park. Keith Smith, sponsored by COCK Products. Down into turn 1 we go. And it is John Dieterman that leads from Richard Blunt. 50 points on offer for the overall race winner here. Richard Blunt, the champion of last year, went into the final round of the season as championship leader last year, along with Rob Wilson. And Rob Wilson cleared up both races, won them. Richard Blunt only had to finish, I think it was 3rd or 4th in both, and he'd had it. And I tell you what, Richard made quite a few people sweat on pit lane that day, managing to just about take the Golden Era Superbike Championship, hence why he sports the number 1 plate on that machine here this season. He's keeping John Dieterman honest at the moment on that backseat Yamaha. These two are the class of the field though. They're flying ahead of championship leader number 35, Shane Pearson, and then that's Nick Williamson, number 6. Thought about a look up the inside. Ollie Dupree then has dropped down to 5th place there, number 65. No sign of Chris Martin here this weekend. Still leading in the Super Sports. Well, we see there is number 37. 37 is Vince Carlton having a good battle with Dominic Clegg. There's Sam Nicholson, number 2, leader of the Golden Era Super Sport Championship coming into this round, but he was only 7 points ahead of Richie Harrison. Now Richie Harrison's 2nd at the moment on circuit, number 48 if you spot him out there on the Honda CBR. Jamie Pearson is up in 8th place. He's actually mixing it well at the moment with the super bikes. 8th ahead of Craig Jeff, Richie Stubbs and Andrew Windsor. There is Windsor, and I think while he's further up ahead of those guys, you also see, there he is, number 24, having a good race here, and he's 3rd in the championship. He may well lead after this race. Further out front though, top boys in the superbike class. There's number 15, Richie Stanbury, up ahead of Mike Walker. That's the battle for 6th and 7th, and this is the fight for the overall victory between the Yamaha of John Dieterman. John, who lives in Preston, so not a million miles for him to come on the backseat Yamaha, unlike Richie Blunt, who is the reigning champion from Bury St Edmunds on the Portico GB Racing Kawasaki. There's Andy Chalice just going through your picture, number 20 on the Team CT Racing Aprilia. 15 again is Stanbury, another rider from Preston. 24, Jamie Pearson from Derby on the Melted Sliders Suzuki. Number 30 is Andrew Windsor from Chichester on the AW Motorsport Suzuki. Had a good run out at Snetterton a couple of weeks ago. Another Melted Slider Suzuki out there is Ian Morgan, number 76 from Spondon. He is currently in 12th place. This time he's not got a penalty like he had in race 1, and there's been no jump starts either, so that's good news all round. The leaders go through the shot there, Dieterman and Richard Blunt, both riders incidentally well under lap record pace. It was Ian Simpson, former Superbike champion, that got the lap record here last year on that beautiful Honda. Well, that last lap, Richard Blunt got a 44.899, so the pace is frighteningly quick out front. Dieterman got himself a decent one in the race earlier as well, so those guys really are pulling away from the rest of the field. In the Super Sports, the lap record was a 49.4, and I can tell you that Jamie Pearson's got a 48.7, so lap records again in both classes here are long gone, and there will be new names in the books and in the programmes ready for our next visit to Oulton Park in 2015. Next up for this championship, as the leaders head down to put a lap on number 96 Ian Evans, it's Dieterman that leads from Blunt. We travel to Rockingham in Corby, Northamptonshire, well-ish. Then it's Anglesey in Wales, before heading to Donington, and then Mallory is still a TBA for now. We suspect there's going to be a round in October, the final round. Not 100% sure if it's definitely going to be Mallory yet. So further back there we see Jamie Pearson, number 24, up ahead of Craig Jeff. That's the fight for 8th place overall. Jamie Pearson's going to take 50 points as he goes on to win. There's a bike that's just pulled over on the right-hand side there. We've lost a number of riders in this race so far. Dave Curtis and Dean Pollard's gone missing, Andy Wintle. Now that might have been Chris Matthews who's pulled up, who had a good race earlier on. 1 lap to go. It's Dieterman that leads from Richard Blunt. Then there's a good 17-18 second wait before we get to Shane Pearson, championship leader. There he is up ahead of Nick Williamson. Good battle that for the final space on the Golden Era Superbike podium. Sparklight Racing sponsors the series. Pearson may just hang on to the championship lead overall, but this will be closing up thanks to 2 great performances from John Dieterman and from Richie Blunt. And there's a bit of traffic here for these guys to deal with. 187 is Chris Jones. Now then, will that affect? Oh, it's worked out well for Dieterman, not so well for Richard Blunt, and I don't think Richard Blunt's going to be able to get himself 50 points here unless Dieterman makes a mistake. Down into the Hizzies complex. John Dieterman there with a Ben Spies replica helmet. Exits, and just under half a lap to go. Meanwhile, further back, this is the battle for 3rd and 4th. Shane Pearson still in charge of this one. Up ahead of Nick Williamson. Oh, just slams it underneath Ian Evans there as they put a lap on him. And then this is the battle for the lead. Well, not even a battle for the lead. That is Jamie Pearson leading the Super Sport. He's up ahead of Craig Jeff, who's a Superbike competitor. That's for 8th and 9th. But then, here we go into the final turn. John Dieterman cleans up here at Oulton Park. His home circuit, you could say. 100 points for him, which helps him out in the series. And in 2nd place there, Richard Blunt. So both riders really doing themselves a lot of good in this championship. They'll go into Rockingham with plenty of confidence. Shane Pearson should hold on to his championship lead, but only just there by finishing in 3rd. It's 32 points for him. Nick Williamson finishes in 4th place ahead of Richard Stanbury and Ollie Dupree. There's the top 3 in the Superbikes. Then Dieterman, Blunt and Pearson. And in Super Sport, Pearson, Jamie, Richard Harrison and Martin Bloomfield. Points then, going into the next round, Shane Pearson, 31 points he has over John Dieterman, who's lifted himself up from 5th into 2nd. There's Dupree, Williamson, Blunt and Jeff. And in Golden Era Super Sport, it was Sam Nicholson that led, but Sam's dropped down to 3rd. It's now Jamie Pearson with an 18-point lead over Richie Harrison. Welcome back to Thundersport Elite here at Oulton Park. Okay, it's the final part, the final race. The Van Insura 600 Sportsman Elite. Now, Richie McNeil failed to finish earlier on. He'll be looking to go and get himself some points here. He fell down. I'm pleased to say he's on the grid. Curtis Wright lines up on pole position. We do have Richie McNeil 2nd on the grid. There he is. And 3rd for number 7, Bradley Jones on the Kawasaki. So nice to see Richards back out there on the grid. Looked like he was a bit hurt earlier on. He'll definitely want to score some points here. Otherwise, he'll lose touch of Dan Freer in the series overall. Ross Twyman, race 1 winner. He's out there again, number 15. Adam Shelton's going to be in the mix, no doubt. Lee Williams, number 94. Away we go then from the line. Screaming down into turn 1. Come the 600s. It's Curtis Wright that looked like he got a good start. Another good one also, though, from Richie McNeil, I think. So here we go, heading down towards Cascades for the first time. Curtis Wright! Oh, major wobble from the front end, almost loses it. That's a quick place, I tell you. You don't want to be losing the front there. He hangs on and is still in first place, ahead of Richie McNeil as they bomb down towards Island Bend here. Fast left-hander, flat out almost for some of these guys. McNeil in second, it's Bradley Jones third. And Daniel Freer, number 1 on his bike, the reigning champion, in 4th place. There he is, a rider that struggled with the setup of that R6 in race 1. Chris Helliwell going through, Curtis Rothwell, number 5. And loads of bikes out in this class, and we've even got champions of Thundersport GP not even inside the points at the moment. That's how competitive it is. There is Ross Twyman having gone past there. Lee Williams, number 15, the yellow R6 super stock machine winner of race 1. The shortened race 1. Chris Nord just tucked in behind him as well. But at the front of the pack, Curtis Wright, number 74, with the advantage as they head under the bridge and up towards Druids Corner. They'll then make their way down towards Lodge, and there is Curtis Wright on the Superstock Triumph, leading the Suzuki Formula 600 machine of Richie McNeil. They look like a change for 3rd place there down into the final turn as well. And yep, that's Dan Freer, the reigning champion. Whatever adjustments he's made to that machine, they look to be working. He's gone ahead there of Brad Jones, and so will Ross Twyman. Nice move, really wide entry into the first turn here at Oulton Park, and Ross Twyman capitalises on that and goes flying past him, and also has a look to go past Daniel Freer, and then goes past Richie McNeil. That's unbelievable stuff from Ross Twyman. From turn 1 down to Cascades, he's gone past 3 riders and moves into 2nd place overall. Just see Lewis Osler going through, Scott Campbell, Reese Rothwell, Paul Gartland. So a number of riders just trying to get themselves in the points. We're on board now with Lee Shallcross, these pivot head glasses on the Phoenix Race Team Yamaha. He's exiting turn 1. We now head down towards Cascades. Here we go on the brakes. Oh, he's almost running a bit wide there, and that's not going well at all. And oh, blimey, on board footage here with Lee Shallcross, and that's not good news at all. Lee Shallcross is down and he looks a bit hurt there. Marshall's running over to help him out, and we've got red flags. Red flags there, and that's a quick place to come off at Cascades, and that's the remains of the bike. I hope that Lee's okay, but that race has been stopped. So then, here we go. It's a complete restart for the Vaventura 600 Sportsman Elite. Forget what you saw. We do have a new start, and away from the line we go again. Curtis Wright has got to do it all over. Down into turn 1, he's going to get the whole shot. Is he? McNeil again, very strong around the outside. This is a chance for those that didn't get off too well earlier to have another crack at the whip. Unfortunately, for those that were doing very well, you've got to do it all over again. Curtis Wright leads from Richie McNeil, Brad Jones, Dan Freer, Ross Twyman and Adam Shelton down into Cascades. Further back there, you see number 9, Paul Charman, currently just inside the points in the opening stages of this race. Bradley Jones just beats up Ross Twyman, who again struggles from the start, although this is slightly better from him than usual. Brad Jones runs over the cement patch there, just tucks in behind him. Brad's on the number 7 Kawasaki, but the 74 Triumph leads from 22 Richie McNeil. There's Sam Cox, not mentioned Sam much this weekend. Sam's normally up in the 3rd, 4th, 5th place area, struggling here this weekend. Wants to get some points. I saw a rider with his foot in the air there. That's Curtis Rothwell. Curtis is gone. He's going to be out of this race, I think. Ozzy Mady and Dean Mulcahy also went absent on the first couple of corners as well. So the attrition rate high here for the 600s at Oulton Park. At the front, though, it's Curtis Wright, who really means business here. It's not often you see Superstock bikes winning races outright. Curtis Wright is looking good here to try and pick up the rider from Stoney Stanton. He's got the advantage. Number 74 ahead there of Richie McNeil, number 22, who fell earlier in race 1, or desperate to stay where he is in second, or at least stay ahead of number 1, Daniel Freer, the current Sportsman Elite Fan Insurer Champion in 3rd place, number 1. Then it's Ross Twyman, who's got back past Bradley Jones for 4th. And then it's Jones in 5th, Shelton in 6th place. Down into turn 1 we go. Ross Twyman so quick through there, the winner from earlier on, and now he's going to try and charge down up the inside of Daniel Freer into Cascades. Oh, and almost wipes out the back of Daniel Freer, in fact. Ross Twyman lucky to hang on to his machine there. There's Chris Mort, number 34, still inside the top 10 overall. Daniel Freer trying to show a front wheel underneath Richie McNeil into Island Bend. None of these guys catching Curtis Wright at the moment. Superstock 600, the lap record, as I mentioned, was gone in race 1. It's gone even quicker now. Curtis Wright 42.5. The Formula 600 record will probably remain as it was. Glenn Irwin a couple of years back with 41.7. Current British Supersport rider. But it's Curtis Wright that leads this one overall from McNeil, Freer, Twyman, Jones. That's then number 61, Shelton. 94 is Lee Williams, and then number 34, Chris Mort. All of these guys capable on their day of winning Thundersport races. There's Lou Osler, and that is number 8, Paul Smith. Up ahead then of 28, Paul Gartland. Down into the final turn of Oulton Park here. Curtis Wright up ahead of Northern Irish rider Richie McNeil, who was 2nd coming into this championship round here at Oulton Park until that fall in race 1 in a double points encounter, so we'll have lost ground. Daniel Freer's looking much better in this race than he was earlier on in the first one. Definitely got the setup of that R6 better this time. Kawasaki of Brad Jones up in the mix again. Ross Twyman looks a threat, the yellow number 15 in 4th place there. They're all bunching up, they're tripping over each other, and that there allows Curtis Wright on the Triumph just to get another 10th away from them out front. Into Island Bend we go. Richie McNeil and Daniel Freer trying to use the power of their Formula 600s, their tune machines, as much as possible here. And there we see Daniel Freer losing out on another place as Ross Twyman moves up into 3rd place now. It's Curtis Wright still on the stock Triumph that has this lead. He leads the Superstock 600 Championship overall from Adam Shelton, Sam Cox and Ross Twyman. Over the hilltop we go, and then downhill, hard on the brakes, easy to outbrake yourself into Hizzy's complex. See chicane. Oh, and there's a rider down there. That's the sound I hate to hear in bike racing. And that looks like it might be number 72, Max Wadsworth, and he's down and hurt over at Hizzy's. And we've got another red flag out. And I think this time, folks, that might be curtains for this race. Yep, the 600 Sportsman Elite. The win's going to go to Curtis Wright. He deserved it, to be fair. McNeil's going to take 2nd, though. The Formula 600 win goes to McNeil. Freer in 3rd overall. Twyman 4th, then Bradley Jones. There is Curtis Wright, winner of the Superstocks, ahead of Twyman and Jones. And in the Formulas, it's McNeil, Freer and Nico Mawini again. Okay, championship standings heading into Rockingham. They see it 9 points between Ross Twyman, Daniel Freer. Well, look how close that is all the way down. Then it's Curtis Wright, Shelton, McNeil and Cox in 6th. In the Formula 600s, Daniel Freer's opened up a bit of a lead now over McNeil. It was 4 points the difference, and look what a difference that has made. Parsons in 3rd ahead of Mawini, Rothwell and Charman. In the Super Stock 600s, Curtis Wright extends his lead, courtesy of that victory ahead of Adam Shelton, Ross Twyman. Sam Cox 4th, ahead of William White and Brad Jones.
Curtis, not a bad day really at the office.
No, not too bad. I quite enjoyed that. That was a good race.
Well, it was odd, wasn't it? Because obviously 2 red flags, it must have messed your head up.
Yeah, that was really hard work. I mean, from the first race, it was really difficult. So I knew I had to get away and try and get some clear track. And yeah, I just pushed. And on the first lap of the first kind of instance, I nearly chucked it at Cascades. So it was quite hard work, yeah.
You got plenty of support, have you?
I do, yeah. I've got to thank everyone at Triumph Motorcycles, especially Lee Maggs, who's done a fantastic job. Pallet Brothers Racing, Castrol, Arrow Special Parts, Simon at the Rising Sun in Shackleton, and I'm sure there's a few others. But also, shout out to Ben Shuttlewood. Hope he gets better.
Richie McNeil from Bangor. Well, man, it's great to see you up on the front end. Big smile on your face, which is lovely. You kept it on 2 wheels.
Yep, kept it on 2 wheels in that race. Unfortunately, I didn't win the race overall, which I would have liked to, but Curtis was absolutely lit all weekend. I was second in qualifying, so I thought, you know, I do have a chance, but you know, Curtis had it this weekend. But the first race today, I just had a bit of problems with the bike spluttering and stuff. So I switched it off and back on in the middle of the race, and then I was trying too hard and I crashed going around Island. So unfortunately, I didn't get any points in the first race.
Well, obviously we saw that because you were at the front at one point, and then and then went back to 12th. So, but anyway, you come all this way from Northern Ireland, and you must have some people you want to thank.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all my sponsors: Morello Services, the Bike Insurer, Van Insurer, RJ's Car Restoration, Daytona, Motorcycle Views, Motortech Toyota, Dialavan, Davies, and just everybody else that's sponsored me. Joan Williams, she's also helped me, and John Ingram for helping me with suspension, and Chris Sale. And I'd recommend this championship to anybody back home, and I would really welcome a lot of riders to come over. And if any riders need to speak to me about different ways of coming over or cost involved, all they need to do is just mail me on Facebook or email me through my website, mcneilracing.com, and I'll be there to help them. So I'd recommend it to anybody.
Thanks very much for joining us here at Oulton Park. Next up for us, it's Rockingham. We'll see you then.